I'm not a lawyer, but today Jonathan Majors was found guilty on 2 of the 4 charges.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a crazy day that we have in store. Early today, we find out that a jury verdict has been reached in which Jonathan Majors, the star from Kang the Conqueror, up by Ant-Man 3, as well as, Damien from Creed 3, he has been found guilty of simple misdemeanor assault and harassment. Some very juicy stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Although it's a shame that, Jonathan Majors had to endure something like this, and I do have some questions in regards to those videos that has been mainly been shown that's up in the camera with regards to the prosecution. I want to try and discuss some preventative methods on what you could do to avoid getting yourself hit up by a position, especially if you're a man that literally has all this power, and especially you have a lot to literally lose on the table. The most important thing is this. Please, please, please watch who you hang with and vet the people very, very, very thoroughly, whether it's a man or it's a woman. Because those types of folks, unfortunately, can actually dictate how long you're going to be successful, or God forbid, you either up in like some cage box, or unfortunately, you could be 6 feet under. And unfortunately, you may have to be dealing with some wolves, basically in all facets of life, where there are other entrepreneurs or other people that are up in politics that, are basically kissing ass to those that have deep pockets, may basically upon pay for. And they can create a potential rave on stuff when it comes with certain cases. Now, I'm well aware that Mr. Majors is actually going to appeal the verdict. His lawyers are actually going to appeal the verdict from what we're seeing, what we're hearing. But I'm more speaking of this on a proactive level, not on a reactive level. If you notice someone that's really having screws loose or her screws loose, and that person's really part of your circle, even if that person's actually getting intimate with you, and the moment that that person really starts getting his or her screws loose, really acting a fool, gone extremely berserk, going saying, threatening you to hit and all that stuff, to the point where the stuff literally becomes physical, that should be your number one cue to bounce immediately and not get back with that person again. Because again, your livelihood could literally be on the line when you deal with like fragile folks that literally have nothing to lose and will do everything in power to have mainly everything to gain. You have a lot of vultures that are literally out in these streets. They want to try and pose as your two friends, but you literally want to try and use you just to get a come up. That's a different angle that a lot of folks, that are up in these greater manosphere spaces don't even tell you when it comes to the whole high value situation. And I'm not saying this is an easy thing to do, because it's clearly not. Especially when we're attracted to the opposite sex that we mainly like, because we may allow much more mistakes to someone that we're not really thoroughly interested in. That's our flaw. We're humans, We make a lot of scoops at the end of the day. But again, you have to take a moment to practice critical thinking. You have to take a moment to mainly practice social cues. You have to actually get to actually know the person deeply, actually try and dig into that person's mindset to see where he or she is at and see if she's going to literally try to pull a fast one. You don't have to actually go try and run through the phone, actually try and text her every single hour, actually try to call every single hour. Give them the private space they need, but also try and make sure they may always try and make sure you actually be more aware and make some small discussions that, they are what they say they are, and their stories may cooperate and they stay consistent. Because unfortunately, a lot of people up in this world are very, very shallow and inconsistent. And in a lot of these cases, some of these dudes are actually salty on someone else's success, and they're trying to use they little levers and use any little mistake that they may have possibly, any little fetish or any little turn they possibly have, and they will do everything they can to literally pounce on him the moment he makes one slight mistake. And that's what we're seeing, unfortunately, in the case of Jonathan Majors. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay aware. Good night.